All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Raging Atheist Live. Today we are here with Athena Socrates. I've got about an hour. Oh, I always do that. Just a second. You'd think that by now I would actually mute that. All right, so we are here with Athena Socrates, and we're going to be speaking. And I got about an hour, maybe a little longer. 6 o'clock is kind of rough time for me. I it's not a rough time if I do dinner at 5, but I didn't do dinner at 5. So, yeah, running a little behind. Just shot the link over to Athena here. And usually I try to give us about 15 minutes, and I'm running really behind. You guys asked how the vortex is. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. It's like 20 degrees today. Not in the negative. Yesterday it was negative 40, like negative 50 at tops. Today it's 20. Tomorrow it's going to be 40, and then by Sunday I think 50. So we're looking at about 100-degree swing in 2 days. Climate change is real. But we have Athena here. I'm going to let Athena tell you guys about himself, his channel, and I'll let him start the conversation.
Uh, yeah, thanks. Okay, I muted. Hang on. Well, my name is Athena. The name I chose was Athena Socrates, but the YouTube channel I have is Athena, Goddess of Wisdom and Warfare. I know it's kind of long, but it gets the job done.
I
I've
dig it.
had, I've hosted a couple of streams with between various people, various side people, various people in that know evolution, that have studied, various scientists. Okay, various scientists like CRISPR, Sam the scientist, Greg, against talking to SpongeBob, otherwise known as Standing for Truth. Honestly, honestly, from now on, every time I see SpongeBob, I'm gonna think of him.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's trying to argue creationism.
I don't get the SpongeBob thing. Like, I don't
I
understand that. And I know he's been around for a while, and he's, his channel is really small, but he's really well known, I guess. And
Yeah.
I don't get the SpongeBob thing.
Uh, I guess it has to do with the he thinks I think he thinks evolution is imagination. Maybe that's what or maybe he just likes SpongeBob like everyone else.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, SpongeBob isn't exactly. But I also lately I've also been doing these things, Athena reviews, where I go live and read a paper, read like an article or something and give my thoughts on it. I haven't. A friend, a friend of mine called Nicola suggested I do eugenics. It was a long, yeah, fun topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eugenics. But okay, yeah. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy's art intro on that, it is fucking long. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So yeah. So it's been a while since I've done another part. I really should do that one of these days. Go back, get back to actually finishing the eugenics, or maybe go reading on another topic. And then I've also talked to Standing for Truth just on my own. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He's an interesting guy. I will admit. The people he hangs out with, or I I'm trying to be nice. Okay, I'm trying to be nice. I'm obviously, you would say, oh, I'm obviously an evolutionist, even though that term is stupid. But
Yeah, yeah. I find it stupid too. Like, I believe in it, but don't ask me too much about it. But
well,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. It's like a possibility. It's one of many to me.
Well, I mean, not to go, not to go into too much things, because I only know like a fraction of it, because I do look into it a
Mhm.
little bit. I do, you know what I mean. My thing is like to learn. You know what I mean?
Me
So I
too. I
do.
love to learn.
Yeah, and from what from what I've seen, that evolution. Funny enough, evolution does actually happen all around you. Like, if you want proof of evolution, just look at viruses. Look at diseases.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you know
that's
what
what
I mean?
I do believe in it because yeah, you can see it in nature. We see it every day. It's been proven. You know, it's gonna be my thing until it's proven otherwise. You know, that's how I look at it. But you know, I'm not gonna. I don't go in. You know, it's just not my interest to go into the minute details of it. To where I'm more. I love history, and
Yeah.
that's always been my passion. Is
Well,
history. You know.
lucky for you, people like me exist who like everything.
Yeah. You know, that's why I dig your name. You know, I've always been into the polytheistic gods of old. So
Yeah.
you know, I thought maybe you was Athena goddess that was in the chat. So I put that at first, just and then I'm like, wait a minute, I need to go back and look at the email. And then I saw Athena Socrates, and then I had you as a her because I thought you was Athena goddess. And I'm like, well, Athena Socrates, that could be either or.
It's the same. Yeah, it's like different things, but it's
Yeah.
still me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I consider myself. See, here's the thing. I consider myself an atheist, but but I am. But Athena has always been like, I mean, I've always been attracted to intellectual stuff. You know what I mean? Not
Yep.
to come off as pretentious, but it's just like a rationality. Just you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like,
I'm the same exact way. Like when I was at my last job, we could listen to pretty much whatever we wanted to listen to individually, and everybody was listening to their music or stupid shit. I was listening to Norse mythology, Greek
yeah,
mythology,
well, that's
Sam
good.
Harris podcast, stuff like that. That's me. I want to learn.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's good. For me, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know I don't know what it is about me, but I find the human condition curious. Like fascinating to study. Like all aspects of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Me too. I was trying to explain this to my dad yesterday, as I was talking to him, and just a little update, guys. I'm feeling a lot better today. The family shit that's in the past. My dad's a Southern Christian, Southern Baptist to a core, and he can accept me for the raging atheist I am, and that's pretty much all that matters. But yeah, I was talking to my dad yesterday, just about just trying to explain to him. It's not that I'm this or I'm that, because I honestly think that because I've been single for so long now, and because I'm so adamant about LGBTQ rights, that he just started to assume I'm gay, and I'm like, Dad, I'm not gay. I'm
Even
not
if you
gay.
were, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it does to him. But at the same time that it matters to him and he disapproves of it, he's not judgmental and shit like that, And he just assumed that I was gay. He's like, dude, I accept you for whatever you are. I don't care, And
Yeah,
I'm lucky to have that. I'm really lucky to have that.
yeah.
But I'm like, Dad, I'm not gay. I'm just an atheist.
What's the difference for some people? Some
Yeah.
people don't see a difference. Uh, I will be right back. My dog is staring at me like she wants to kill me.
Oh yeah, no problem, no
Yeah,
problem, man.
I'll be right back. Maybe she wants to go out. I just don't worry. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, take your time. I'll talk to the audience. All right, guys. Yeah, Athena here seems really interesting. Seems really smart. He did tell me he has a slight speech impediment, so I think he's doing really good. I think he's coming across clear. So bear with him, and I think we're gonna have a good conversation. Yeah, I really do love the Greek gods. I love the Roman gods, but my favorite are the Norse gods. I really want to get a good polytheist Norse dude up in here. Ocean, if you're gonna ever see this, I'm talking to you. Just to have a discussion about Norse mythology and what it means in modern days. Excuse me. I'm drinking again. Feeling better today, and I'm not drinking, just having a cocktail, maybe two, but no more. Yeah, it's been that kind of just a better day today. I've been editing videos. Lady Tasha, I finished my Leah's Essence first response video. I take it a bit easy on her, kind of. But I finished a Ben the Baptist video today, and Jesus is Lord is in the house, guys. But I finished a video on Ben the Baptist today, and going into the editing of this video, I'm like, I don't think that this is gonna pass my self-censorship model that I have, and It was close. It was close, but I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring it to you guys. All right, so Athena's back. We
yeah.
had
Hello.
Jesus as Lord is in the house. He's a troll, much like standing for truth.
I uh, okay, okay. Look. Here's the thing. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but standing for truth is smarter than
Oh yeah,
Jesus Lord.
I think so too. Standing for truth definitely knows his talking points, and that's why, like my thing with him was try to really derail him and make him realize that I don't care about his talking points. Let's talk about your belief systems, because even if you were to convince me that evolution is somehow not true, that's not going to do anything towards making me not an atheist anymore. you
I
know,
mean, I mean, as I said before, one. If you want proof of evolution, one all has to do is look at the way viruses, like,
yeah.
like just
I mean, we've shown it. Like I think it's the human hand. There's a bone like right here, that's a useless bone, and the more and more young people are being born without that bone. That's evolution. You don't need it. Evolution, with time,
yeah,
you get rid of it. You adapt. You evolve, and they just can't seem to understand this, and they want to trap you with your own words. And I think they choose me because they know that I'm not like as knowledgeable as some. Like they could go to another atheist that's going to really know the talking points here, but they choose the raging atheist because they know I give two fucks.
well,
I'll
yeah, I
scream
think
at
that,
you.
yeah, and that's I guess that's kind of the issue that I saw with that, like, you know what I mean, like it didn't really help that you were having a hangover. You
Yeah.
know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah.
From what I remember, you were nursing a hangover, or whatever word you want to put it. So you know what I mean. So it's like, no offense to you, standing, if you're watching, you were like, you smelled blood in the water.
Well, when I watched over that, I think I get them. But I usually have a hangover of some. Well, I usually don't have a hangover. Yeah, I do remember that now. I usually don't have a hangover because I usually only drink a pint. That day, I happened to go full tilt. But even with a hangover, I can usually know my talking points. I just wasn't gonna. Uh, I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm just frustrated at that point, because I think I talked to Jill shortly before Standing for Truth, and I was more frustrated with myself for not really, researching Standing for Truth. I didn't even know he had a channel until he came on the link, and I just thought he was a troll like Jill here, and he's not. He actually has a channel, and he does do this legitimately, so he does know his talking points. So I think that's the main thing with me, was
Yeah.
I just wasn't prepared for him. I thought he was a troll. I mean, he had been trolling me for quite a while. So I'm like, I'm just gonna troll a troll. So I think you can obviously tell that I'm like just really aggravated trying to troll him, and he's just wanting to go on his talking points. Like, this is what
Yeah.
I talk about. This is what I do, and I'm like, no, we're gonna do this. So yeah, and
Also,
I do remember that now. I was
yeah.
hungover because yeah, we got it the night before.
Yeah. No. Also, I was gonna say that I don't know. Like I'm fine with the name the raging atheist, but I don't know. Some people could be like, oh, why are you a raging atheist? Are you raging against God?
Yeah,
Mm.
no, yeah, and honestly, I am. All right. So I've been out of the closet for about. I mean, it's debatable because I came out to my mom about 4 years ago, but
I'm
then,
sorry, but I can't help. But when you use language like that, I can't help but say,
well,
can't help but think of coming out as a homosexual, not
well,
as an
it
atheist.
is very similar though.
Yeah, no, no, I know.
It's
It's
very similar. In fact, our communities do intertwine. We work together. We coordinate pride parades together. It's very similar, and our causes are the same. You see, and I explained this to a family member yesterday because she took issue with my terminology with that, and I'm like, I'm not trying to take away from the homosexual experience in the closet. But in today's modern age, homosexuals have come a long way. They are accepted, and it could be argued they are accepted more in society now than atheists are. So,
oh,
you can't
absolutely.
take away from, especially from a person my age. I think it might be different for younger atheists, because they grew up in a different generation. But I'm 41 years old. I'm borderline Generation X millennial. So for
Well,
me,
I'm
I grew up,
34, so
I grew up in the deep South back in the 80s and 90s where it was literally, if you weren't a Christian, you were ostracized, and I was a deep rooted Christian. I mean, I was a very fundamental Christian
yeah.
back then.
Well, for me, it's weird. For me, I was never a believer. I went to Sunday school, I got my communion and then a confirmation, but it's like it never stuck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Once in a while, I would pray, I would get on my knees and pray, and then when I noticed nothing would happen to me. Like, okay, this is bullshit. Moving on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for me, like when I first started becoming an atheistic in nature, when I was coming out of my Native American spirituality, and I was just like, man, you know what? I've looked for all these gods, and it's all bullshit. None of it means anything. I mean, I thought I had an experience with crystals on, with the Native American shit. I thought I saw a past life, but then I'm like, it's probably the mushrooms we were taking, like, and there's always usually something, and so for me,
Well,
I had these like really,
yeah,
really like high level Christian people in my family, like they are. There's my family, and then this group of Christians are a level above
yeah,
everybody, and they look down on us. And you don't want to disappoint those people. Like when they came to our family functions, we wouldn't smoke around them, we wouldn't drink, we wouldn't smoke weed. We always was respectful of their feelings. So that was the pressure on me was, if it came out that I was an open atheist, that they would put pressure on me and kind of turn the family against me. It took 4 years, and it's finally happened the last couple of days. But I accepted that when I came out. I knew it was going to happen,
well,
it's just
yeah.
my generation. I think a lot of people probably don't have those dynamics to where they had to sit in that closet and be quiet when everybody else was talking about what they knew, and you had more truth than they did. So that's the raging atheist. That's finally I'm coming out and I'm
Well,
expressing
yeah,
that
I
rage.
can. Believe me, but believe me, I can understand that where you say something that is right, but but then somebody like literally, well, not really literally, but just jumps at you and just says, well, what the fuck this, what the fuck that, and you
Yeah,
just have to sit there and just take it because your opinion means shit to them
yeah,
because in their eyes you are worthless.
yeah, and
I get what you mean.
for about 12 years, it was like I wouldn't even say the truth because I knew that the truth would be offensive to them, So, but then when I started talking the truth, what you're saying, that's exactly what happened is, they pick their moments to bite, because I've been
Yeah,
really open and just, since my mom died. And, they take their
yeah,
moments to
that's
bite, but it's usually over something that I say that's absolutely true. Like, it's not God that's gonna cure cancer, it's scientists, and oh my God, I can't believe he fucking said that. I'm like, what's fucking wrong with that?
no, but see, it's like if you say if a scientist were to cure cancer, which that that's another topic we can get into in a minute. But if a scientist were to cure cancer, they would be like, oh, God worked through the scientist to find it.
Yeah,
Then why the fuck didn't God give the scientist the cure in the first place?
yeah. Why did he create cancer in the first place? Like, and then why did it take so long? So all these billions of people have died from it.
Yeah,
Like,
but
where's God's cure for AIDS? Like,
yeah, regarding cancer, this is a common misconception a lot of people make. Cancer is not one disease; it's like 200, 200 different diseases with
yeah.
subtypes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and
So
and that's
each one
the
is different.
particular science. It is certain types of cancer. It's just like with weed. Weed will help certain types of cancer. It will kill a
Yeah,
certain general type of cancer cell, but it's going to help
yeah.
certain types of cancer more than other types of cancer.
Like 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 I was on Facebook a couple of days ago, and there was this guy who posted this link. Hang on. This link about this biotech firm, something in Israel, making claims that we will cure cancer. We will be on the verge of curing cancer within a year. So I did my thing, I did a little Google search, And turns out the company is bullshitting. There's red flags everywhere. The guy didn't understand. Basically, to use this term, it was fake news. Okay, I know the term fake news triggers some people because the Orange Man says it, but it I have to say it. You know what I mean? It
Oh,
was wrong.
there's definitely fake news, and when they said Israeli scientists, that threw me off because the science that I've been studying was Swedish and based in Sweden, and yeah, since this whole conversation started, these so-called Israeli scientists, I believe, have come out and said they don't have the funding to publish their research.
Oh, that sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, so it's like, well, you're not going to have. How can you cure cancer and then not have enough money to publish? I mean, that makes that to me that it does raise red flags. And like I said, the science that I've been following, it's
Yeah,
in Sweden. It's not in Israel.
yeah,
So that really threw me off when people started talking about these two Israeli scientists that have
yeah.
cured cancer.
Sorry about that. I wasn't laughing at you. I was just reading something. Pre-trib is a fraud. Said he didn't create cancer. That's dumb.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that pre-trib. God created the universe and everything in it, right? You know, I mean, as far as I know, that Satan himself was an angel. He's not a god. He doesn't have the ability to
Well,
create
I mean,
anything. You know.
yeah, I mean, one could argue that angels are gods, but gods with little e, sorry, gods with little g, and
Yeah,
God is with big
I
G.
would I would think that, yeah, what would have to separate big God would be, that creation aspect. I'm sure, he must have created the angels as well. So I mean, but just even taking that, just going by your scripture, you know, God has placed several plagues upon mankind. I mean, going by your biblical scripture, cancer would be a plague that God would have placed upon mankind. If you can tell me otherwise from your own personal scripture, well, then we can have a conversation.
I want to get back to the whole Israeli thing because I looked it up, right, and I found a Forbes article,
That
with
was the article my aunt posted. Yes.
yeah, the Forbes one, right? Because I mean,
Yep.
there was apparently there was two of them. I found one that was written by Victoria something, who she was a cancer research scientist and also a childhood cancer survivor. I don't know if we probably, but the point is the person that posted that. Well, he said, he posted in this group called Unbelievable question mark. Say, if you're against Israel, you're against the cure for cancer, and I'm like, are you
Yeah.
being paid?
Yeah,
Like,
that it kind of sounds like, yeah. I mean, how can you say that if you're against it? Like, I'm against Israel. I think they're an atrocious regime. They're a far right conservative regime, and I'm a leftist. Of course, it has nothing to do with race or racial or religious identity at all. It's I
I
don't like
don't.
that they keep shooting missiles at brown people.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know much about Israel, so I can't speak to it. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah, the only thing that I know is that I know Netanyahu is far right, and that while I tend to disagree with both sides, Israel and Palestine, for their methods, I think that Palestine throwing rocks is a bit different than Israel shooting rockets, and people don't acknowledge that enough.
yeah, but yeah, what were we talking about? What? Oh, yeah, the guy was like, the guy was saying, the guy because this guy he ignored the fact, that the article I put, the woman who wrote the article was a research scientist and only put up and only put up the fact that that she was a cancer survivor. Oh, she's a like, I forget. It got to the point where I'm like, dude, you know what? I'm not talking to you anymore because you are just retarded. Because the man even said, "Oh, it's just my opinion. It would be cool if it could happen. There's no need to rage at somebody you never met, like all passive aggressive, like saying, "Oh, why are you challenging my opinion, bro?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me, man. I will rage, like if you push me and I feel like, you back me into a corner, I'm gonna rage on you. And then it kind of makes me laugh when people are like surprised that I do it. I'm like, have you not watched a single one of my videos? Like, if you didn't, I mean, that's why you came here, is for that moment. I mean, admit it, you that's perfect propaganda for them. How could they not like it,
I don't know, but this shit, I've seen. I'm 34 years old. I said this before when you say you were 41, but I'm 34, and based on what I've seen, nobody is innocent in the world. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no, nobody is, like
Well,
it.
I suppose you could say babies are innocent because they're just born. So I guess my statement,
Yeah,
nobody's innocent, is kind of.
I'd say like my daughter's 9, so she's still innocent. So I'm thinking like 10, 11ish is probably. I mean, I probably lost it a bit young, but I think it's different for everybody. But yeah, once you hit that moment, like this world, and I know Christians love to say it's a sinful world, and I'm literally responding to somebody that says that the world clogs the voice of God in your head. So you really need to just read the Bible nonstop if you want to hear the voice of God in your head clearly. And
But
I'm like, that's fucking insane.
well, no. That actually segues perfectly into talking about mental disorders, and talking about and delusions, because it's like funny how because if you look at the sorry, DSM-5 you know what I mean, the thing it says, oh, when it's talking about delusions,
Mhm.
religion is missing,
Yeah.
because it's like,
And
okay,
I
what
don't get
else?
that. And they get
Yeah.
offended when I say delusion. And I'm like, to me, it's clearly a delusion. Like you
Yeah, but it's
clearly have this
offensive.
delusion.
Yeah, it's offensive. It's like offensive. Dude, I don't know. Honestly, there are times where I'm like, dude, you know what? Believe whatever the fuck you want, but just leave me the fuck alone. You want to believe in a magical fairy that they created the entire universe, but it's weak against iron. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
I have those moments too. Like I really just like I could care less what you believe right now. Like I'm looking for proof. I'm looking for an honest debate, not how
Yeah.
how my words are affecting you. And trust me, like I'm not going to get mad at words. What I'm going to get mad is if you filibuster. Standing for truth. That whole debate was filibuster, filibuster, and filibuster. And I try to get a word in, and he just keep going. So finally, I'm like, all right, it's time to rage.
DSM-5. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, yeah, I couldn't. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa for Truth is very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. I have to
But
get her
but
back on here.
okay. So I don't know who Lisa for Truth is. Is she a theist? Is she an atheist? Is she?
I think she identifies as agnostic.
Uh, because in my brain, when I saw Lisa for Truth, I was like, oh shit, another standing for truth glow.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
apologize, Lisa. It's my mistake.
well, I did too. When she first started commenting on my page, standing for truth. Stop commenting. But he had been a troll for quite a while. So I'm like, what is this standing for truth's wife? you know, like did
No, I
he
didn't
send
go
his
that
wife? He told
far.
me. But
Yeah,
then
I
she
didn't.
was always supportive of what I was saying. So I'm like, yeah, it can't be standing for truth's wife.
Well, I mean, you never know. It could be, but his wife
they
is an atheist.
they say opposites attract.
Well, that's true in physics, but yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't really worked out too well for me in life. I'm surrounded by theists, so I've tried and tried and tried, and
Yeah.
since I got this tattoo, theists don't really
Yeah,
come
but it's
around here
like,
no more.
yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's like I find it really, really, like, weird that a lot of Christians seem to be like, if you're an anti-theist, they look at you like you're an anti-theist. You know what I mean? It's like you can't be against religion. You can't point out the problems of religion because,
Yeah,
oh well, over here, what about Stalin and. So okay, so your point is people suck. Can we move on?
yeah, and they don't get the just the blatant hypocrisy of it either, because it's quite okay to talk about their religion. It's quite okay to promote their religion. It's quite okay to talk about how great God is, or praise God, or thoughts and prayers when innocents are dying in schools from guns. But you know, the moment you say anything about what you think, any truth, and it could be the truest thing in the world,
Yeah.
that's offensive. That's disrespectful. Well, how is the truth disrespectful? Well, it just is. Yeah.
Well, yeah, another thing, yeah, and another thing I always hear is, oh, religion brings people comfort. If some people need religion to get through the day. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why? So does that
And
mean?
yeah, and why? All right. So if it's offensive to you, why have you stuck around for so long? Because some part of you likes it. You know, some part of you likes it, and you hate that some part of you likes it. You know, like some part of you is like, yes, yes, that's the truth. And then that God voice that they think they have is like, you are damned. Yeah.
But see, that's another thing. Like, to me, I've always felt like, as I learned more learned more about religion, because, as I said, it never stuck with me. You know what I mean? It wasn't something I really thought of until I started watching YouTube videos on it. I watched more thing, and then I got involved into the discussions, reading more and more. I found that, like, okay, Christianity is nothing more than an abusive partner, because the abusive partner will abuse you, say they love you, say I'm sorry, I won't do it again, but they'll blame you for everything. In the Bible, humanity is blamed for turning the world to shit. And
Yeah.
the you know and you know and you know and the blame is placed squarely on the woman.
Yeah.
How in
Yeah.
the fuck? How in the Why in the fuck would somebody want to follow such a misogynistic religion?
Yeah, and I
I,
don't
I,
get it. And they'll defend it, like literally, like gay people will defend the God that hates them. And I mean, and I can understand if you're gay and you have a God, but why a God that hates you? I don't understand that at all. And it's because I think that they've been able to apologize to themselves enough that he doesn't hate them, that all the other Christians that say he does is wrong. And they could be wrong, but the majority of the
yeah.
religion hates you. You can't take that away.
No, no, and as I said, it places the blame on humans. It makes them think they're sick. It makes them think that that normal things like masturbation, which can be harmful if you do it like every fucking day, obviously. Or okay, I can't even, I shouldn't, like, I don't know, like, there are negatives to everything, obviously, everything in moderation. You know what I mean? But masturbation itself isn't. It's natural. Fucking everyone does it. Sorry, every animal. You know what I mean? As far as and let's see, and also what else? Sexual desires, or like, it tries to control things that I need to make sure I get my language right. It's trying to control things that were not meant to be controlled, except by the individual themselves. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. They can't just worry about themselves and their faith and what they're doing to please their
Yeah,
God. They got to worry about everyone of every facet. And to me, it's like, you hate it when us atheists finally come out of our shells and start talking shit back, but you've done it
yeah.
your whole existence and you just don't even realize it's the same thing. You just
Oh,
can't
yeah.
see it. You
But
know?
see, from what I found these past 34 years, and it's a human nature is inherently the same in everyone. You know what I mean? I'm not saying we all act the same all the time, but we all have we all have the capacity to do to, because I mean, because, like, for example, it's like Christian like to Christians always like to say, oh, you need to believe in God because I want you to, because I don't want you to go to hell. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
on the other side, the atheist could be like this. I don't want you to believe in God because you're putting, you're basically what I'm trying to say is that humans intrinsically want to warn each other of potential dangers.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And my thing is, all right, so if you're gonna follow Jesus or Yahweh, at least know the truth about him. Research it for yourself. You believe in false idols and shit, and yet you believe in a white Jesus that never existed. I would think that that's a false idol. So,
Yeah,
like, don't come and be an atheist.
yeah,
Just
but
learn the truth and worship the real dude, not some
yeah.
Charleston Heston knockoff.
But my question to that would be, how can anyone be intellectually honest, if they do the research and look into the history of the Bible and the religion itself. Like, okay, so if you want to follow what Jesus taught, you gotta show everything. But here's the thing: a lot of what Jesus taught, it's something that's probably been around before he was even there. It's like, I hate to use this term, but common sense. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I don't have everything. I don't have everything memorized that he said, but it's like
Yeah,
it.
use your common sense and just and try to put yourself in his shoes. And there are things that Jesus says that you can misinterpret to mean negative things, but I would say that most of what Jesus actually says can very easily be interpreted into positive messages that you can push out there. But you should be the first ones
Yeah.
standing against people pushing the wrong message. The Matt Powells of the world. It shouldn't be the raging atheist. It should be you guys defending your religion. Not me.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny how how there are some atheists that know more about the Bible than, I mean, there are Christians. There are Christians who are well educated in the Bible and everything, but most of the
Mhm.
time it's atheists who actually have read it and studied it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and that's what drives me crazier than anything. It literally drives me crazier than anything that my family and all right, think whatever you want. I'm a heathen. You're not gonna want to listen to me. At least give me credit because you fucking seen me read these books. You've seen me my whole life reading far more than you've read, whether it's fantasy fictions or actual histories and philosophies and Shakespeare. And I went to college for fucking English and at least give me credit where credit is due. But they don't even do that. They won't even do that.
Well, at least, yeah, at least it. I guess I'll say it off air, but yeah, I get what you mean. Uh,
It's aggravating to no end. Just because you're a heathen, nothing you say matters. It's
well,
one
no, for me,
ear and
for
out the
me,
other.
yeah, for me, it has nothing to do with being, a heathen. Like, because my mom knows, but she just doesn't care. She just does her own thing, whatever. My sister doesn't care either. I don't know what the hell she is. She just lives her life, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't bring it up. Sometimes my mom's will be like, "Oh, Jesus this, Jesus that," and I comment, "Yeah, if he exists, he doesn't." I don't know. It's just, I'm like, Jesus. I have to
Mhm.
wonder. I have to look at my family and wonder, how in the hell was I born to these people? Was I adopted?
Yeah, I've thought that often. I have
I want
thought
a DNA test.
I,
Where's
I
Murray?
I I think my family wishes I was adopted. Yeah, they that's what they pray for at night is, man, just let him go away. He's from somewhere else. He's like an alien. Go
That's
back home.
harsh. Well,
That's how
hey,
it feels sometimes.
yeah. Well, hey, hey, hey. Look at it this way. At least you can be glad you're not an albino.
Yeah, yeah. I do have this naturally olive skin, darker complexion, and that's because of my native roots. Like for an Irish guy, I'm pretty dark. We
Yeah,
have an immutable destiny. He's trying to
yeah. He's a
troll
friend of
you.
mine.
Yeah, he's trolling you pretty good. The Bible
Uh,
is not my final authority. Immutable destiny. It's I don't think it should be anybody's final authority. Anything written, I would say, even a couple hundred years ago, should be updated and made new. So, especially a 2,000-year-old text is no
yeah,
authority,
but
especially when it comes to morality.
Yeah, but here's what I always found weird. Like, when you say that the Bible is just a work of fiction, but then they say, oh, no, it's got some truth to it. Well, okay, there are books that are a work of fiction, but I
Oh
have
yeah.
truth in it. I
Every
mean,
every fiction, if you're not basing your fiction off of some truth, then it's unreadable. You know,
like,
you've got to make it, you've got to have truth in it to make it
yeah.
relatable to a human being. You
But
know,
for example, if you're writing a book about aliens invading Earth, obviously you're gonna use Earth as a real place. You
yeah,
know what I mean? The New York City, Paris, or whatever. And if you can make it work with the story, you can have various laws that actually exist sprinkled in, but that's still fiction. You
yeah,
know what I mean? No one's gonna look at that and be like, well, the aliens may not exist, but because it's talking about actual places and actual laws, I'm like,
yeah. Well, a perfect example would be like, I've read several Danielle Steele books, not because I like romance novels, but because I want to know the truth of what a woman's experience is. And for me, the best way is to go inside the mind of a woman. That would be somebody that can express it in the most articulate way. I would say Danielle Steele is one of the best of those.
yeah,
And those are complete fictions, but I'm finding truths there. I'm finding knowledge that I have used throughout my life. Like so. You can find truth in anything. And yeah, I would say that there's a lot of
well, I was
truth
more
based
talking,
to the Bible.
yeah,
There's some truth to it,
well,
but
I was
everything's
more,
embellished.
yeah, I was more talking about using actual, like truth as in like
Mhm.
actual places, or
Yeah,
like saying, oh, the the aliens were impersonating Michael Jordan for some reason. Michael Jordan's a real person,
yeah, yeah.
but he's not an alien, as
It's
far as
it's
we know.
there's truth there. Or like if when Stephen King is, sometimes he'll create a place, but sometimes he'll use a real place in Maine or wherever
Yeah,
across the country. And he's actually researching those places, getting truths about those places to make that story as real as possible.
yeah.
To make it relatable.
So
you know like that's, you could take the Christian Bible for example. The flood story, it's known if you've studied history. The Christian flood story wasn't the first flood story.
yeah, no, it was like there was like the Gilgamesh story, and then there was other ones. You know what I mean? It was an homage to the Gilgamesh story,
Yeah, so I
quote
mean,
unquote.
it was based on the so-called truths of other stories. Now we know for we pretty much know that there was no biblical flood, but if you're told that generation after generation, if there's stories and you're copywriting that story, well, that is a truth to you. You are writing a truth,
Well,
and
I mean, yeah, there's the I find that mythology or has a grain of, you always hear this when you're growing up, mythology, oh, it always has a grain of truth to it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because think about it. The old Greek mythologies, it was just people trying to explain what happened in the world around them. Like, if somebody came up to a volcano, our ancestors would be like, oh, I wonder what's going on in there. It's probably a god making weapons for other gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, like they're all explanations, and
yeah.
people that didn't know what we know now today trying to explain shit. Like if something comes from the sky and then all of a sudden it's on fire and then it's gone, and they're trying to explain that event.
Yeah.
And our human imaginations are naturally going to come up with stories. So
Yeah.
it's based on a truth. They saw that come from the sky. They just did not know how to
Yeah.
explain it.
And yeah, to actually add to that point, they've actually done, done a study where they had, let's see, what was it? It was a circle, a small triangle, and a bigger triangle. Now, it was animated in a way where the bigger triangle, was chasing. It was either the bigger triangle was chasing the circle or was chasing the other triangle. You know what I mean? It was, it was just using basic geometric shapes. But the interesting thing was that about it that is the people who saw that, started inventing stories around it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, how the circle was was a woman, and the two, the two triangles were men fighting over it, and on the side there there was an enclosed area. There were there was like a square with an opening, like a door, what I mean, that they go into. Like, that is really fascinating, because it just shows that it was simple geometric shapes, but our human imagination just created a story around
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean the story. It doesn't mean that was the intent of the shapes. It was
Yeah.
just a story that we made.
That's how, like, Chinese got stories of dragons, and for hundreds of years thought dragons really existed because they were finding like dinosaur bones and shit,
Yeah.
creating these stories around these huge bones, trying to explain it to themselves how this is possible.
Yeah,
You know,
and actually, funny enough, the story of the Cyclops actually, what I mean, because they probably found mammoth bones. You know what I mean? Because if you look at a mammoth bone, it's got like a huge hole, like in the middle of its face. You
hmm
know what I mean? People say, oh, it must be a Cyclops with only one eye, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
there is some truth to mythology, just not the truth you
yeah,
want.
not the truth that you've either been told or you've come up with, or
Yeah.
I do think that a lot of people don't, and even me, and you try to escape that childhood indoctrination, but it's still just for the rest of my life. It's something that I'm going to be a slave to. It's going to creep in at the most unexpected times. Like, holy shit, that's not true. That's something I learned when I was 8. you know,
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of it, a lot of it can be sort of forgiven, because a lot of what we learned in, when we were younger, was tailored to the school system. So
yeah.
obviously, if you learn that George Washington chopped down a cherry tree, you're gonna learn that in school, even though you may find out that that's not true. I guess they. I don't know. Honestly, the problems with the educational system, it's its own stream.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just I'm blurry. I just did a finally another crazy Colts on. I don't know why I'm blurry. Let's get it back into focus.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but I guess it's just a camera thing.
It does that sometimes. All right. Yeah. So I'm doing another Crazy Cults video on Three Hearts Church, and this crazy woman actually believes all the shit she says. Like, she honestly believes it. And I grew up in the South, and I'm like, yeah, it's very possible that she learned this shit in school. Like, it's
Like,
insane to me.
yeah. I will give credence to the flat earthers for one thing. Okay, yes, we have been lied to, but they, a lot in life, but they take it to an extreme level.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
and just by now, like, yeah, until I actually go up there and see it for myself, I can't know with definitive surety, like 100%. I
well,
know for a fact we're on a globe, but I think by now, I mean, every country's been up in space, and for it would have to be a worldwide conspiracy at
yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
which is why it falls apart.
Yeah,
If you examine it for like 2 seconds.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. Until I actually go up there and see it for myself, it is a possibility. But I had somebody, and he's not even a flat earther. I can't remember who it was. It was a debate that I had. I think it was Pastor Wilson. Said that God can make the earth expand, pretty much
Oh,
in
oh,
real
oh,
time.
sorry.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
I've heard something like that before. Oh, God stretched to the heavens.
Yeah.
As proof. Oh, see, the Big Bang, the cosmic expansion is in the Bible. See, how? No,
I know.
I.
Yeah. When he went on Skylar Fiction, I was in the chat trying to be like, Skylar, get him on this because he admitted this, but Skylar was worried about the racism shit.
Uh,
And I wish I would have known, because I would have nailed him on it too.
yeah. Have you seen? Have you seen the Matt Powell debates Skylar had with him? Like, the first
Yes.
one was just, oh my god. And the second one was, personally, I think, even worse,
Yeah,
because
I
because Matt
haven't
Powell
watched.
was intentionally dishonest.
Yeah. Oh, and he was intentionally dishonest about me in that debate too. But I haven't watched all of the first debate, but I do know that it gets bad enough that like Skylar's channel was taken down for a while, just
Yeah,
because of the horrible things Matt Powell was saying. But I did watch the second debate live, and yeah, he not only just lied the whole time, but he lied on me personally. Um, and we're supposed to go and do a thing together, but I'm not even sure if I really want to give him playtime anymore. I'm on the bigger and badder people in his church, like Ben the Baptist and Stephen A.
yeah, like I get that. Sorry,
But I might do it. I mean, because I do want to have that moment where I can have other people say, "No, you're a fucking liar," and it's
yeah.
just not me, you know. But I don't, we'll see.
Okay, hang on a sec. Let me. Yeah, okay. I'm subscribed to you.
No, you're good. I do want to address your friend Immaculate. Surprised me.
Immutable.
Yeah, he said immutable. Yeah, he said he's an atheist. That surprised me.
Yes.
So I mean, maybe he's trolling with the whole God Bible as the final
Yeah,
authority.
no, he was,
All right.
he was trolling.
And
Although, if I'm being honest, there were times, he and I had a discussion where I'm like, dude, just go to the theist side already, because
yeah,
it's kind of weird.
yeah,
I don't know.
I do have a hard time understanding atheists that tend to agree with theists, but they are out there. I dealt with one when I first came on YouTube. His name was Mad Black Atheist, huge black far right atheist dude, and yeah, me and him did not see eye to eye on anything. And he actually trolled me first, and then I trolled him back classically. And I did want to address you, Wajida. As far as I know, um, the King James version actually made the references to homosexuality worse than it was before, and that's because, as far as I know, I could be wrong about this. King James himself was gay, but we're just recently finding out about that. He was deeply in the closet and would have never admitted it in a million years, and I do think there was a very harsh
So
anti-gay
he was,
at that moment.
yeah. So he was. Okay, who was that anti-gay preacher that was found in a hotel room with coke, and
Oh
like,
yeah, what was his name? Like Jimmy
Ted,
Haggard or something. Or
I think it was Ted. So he was the
Ted,
Ted
yeah, Ted
Haggard.
Haggard. Yeah, yeah. It's so anti-gay, and yeah, he was knobbing the hob, you know. But they
Uh,
usually do, you know. They usually do. That's why, Matt Powell gets mad when people pick on him about it. But you set yourself up by being a
yeah,
homophobe, because so many homophobes have been caught,
yeah.
doing what they hate.
But the one thing I found interesting about Matt Powell was he said, "Oh, I was an atheist from the age 7 to 11." That's not enough time to just.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I caught him on a live with that. And I'm thinking about making a video on it. I did record it because he's got a new video out on his channel where he's talking shit
yeah,
about a preacher over at another Baptist church that he grew up in until he was 12 years old. So I mean, when you're a liar, you're gonna forget your lies. And he
yeah.
forgot that he said that about being an atheist and came out with the truth. He grew up
So
deeply,
he lied about
deeply
being. He
indoctrinated by
lied.
these people.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
lied about being an atheist. Okay, yeah, I figured as much because, wait, you were an atheist for only 4 years?
yeah, and as a child, and your dad, like I met his dad. His dad is a deep-rooted, indoctrinated Christian. Like you're an atheist at 10 years old, going to a Baptist church now, and said that he loved those people. Like I am gonna have to do this video because it does prove that he lied about being an atheist. Because I mean,
Oh,
he clearly
yeah.
says that he went to that church right up till he was 12 years old, a very fundamental Baptist church.
But hold on. I can actually, I can actually argue it. So he didn't technically lie. He didn't technically lie. He was an atheist from 7 to 11, but still went to church so as to hide it. There you go. I
Maybe.
can make this argument.
But yeah, I just have a hard time believing it. Like
Yeah,
if
no,
you're
I
7 to 11, you're gonna pretty much be your dad. So, I just you haven't hit that rebellious age yet. Like if he would have came out and said 15, all right, then you have an argument. But
Yeah, but that actually that actually segues perfectly into something that that I've noticed, but I always feel like I'm making a no true Scotsman fallacy on. Like there have been a lot of people, especially Strobel. I forget his first name. He's the guy who wrote The Case for a Creator, The Case for Jesus, or whatever.
Yeah, it
You know,
sounds
he's
familiar.
Yeah, yeah. He's always claimed. I always hear people, "Oh, I used to be an atheist, but then something happened to turn me into, and to believe the Bible. I read the Bible and I became a Christian." In the back of my mind, here's the thing: because their arguments for atheism are just like wrong. They're straw men. They're just, you know what I mean. So it makes you wonder: okay, were you really an atheist, or are you bullshitting everybody? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, and I think that that is a problem. I think that a lot of people, like I respect this guy a lot. He's the one that actually made my intro for my videos, my raging atheist cartoon, Mad Love, and he's a guy that claims to be a former atheist. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but just the things he says would tell me, dude, you wasn't an atheist because your portrayal of atheist isn't accurate. And I like you, you're an honest Christian. We have good talks, but I don't believe you. I don't.
Yeah. Like yeah, like for me, I always feel like I'm committing a no true Scotsman fallacy because they're like, oh, they weren't real atheists.
Yeah, yeah. And what is a real atheist? Because there is no true definition of
Well,
that.
yeah, no, 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 I
And
know, I know
so
that's
I feel
why.
the same way too. But I just in my gut feeling is like, dude, I don't trust that. I just don't think he was.
Yeah,
And I have no proof of that. That's just my gut.
yeah, and another thing, there have been some people I talked to. Oh, they said, oh, I've looked into, I've looked into every religion, and I came to Christianity. That's a bold ass claim. Why the hell did you choose Christianity?
Yeah, yeah. And especially like if you were what the people that say they was a Christian and then they became an atheist and then they went back to Christianity. That I just automatically like my bullshit alarm goes off. Like you
Yeah.
left the religion and then you're going back to the same religion you left. Like why wouldn't you seek a higher truth? Why wouldn't you seek something different? That because obviously that religion didn't work for you before. It just to me that's just an automatic red flag. I'm not going to call you a liar, but inside I'm like, he's a liar.
Oh, and also the seemingly road to I forget road to Mesquestes. Wow, I suck at speaking. But basically, some people I've talked to have said, "Oh, I got into, I had a vision, or I had a personal." The hell?
Yeah,
You there? Okay,
yeah,
so just, I don't
yeah,
know. It was weird. The screen just went black for like a second. But no, they say, "Oh, I had a personal experience. It was revealed to me. It happened while I was having a traumatic experience, car accident, this and that." And I'm like, uh, sure. God
yeah.
revealed it to you during a traumatic event. He couldn't have revealed it to you in a dream. Just he chose a
Yeah,
traumatic event to do that. Yeah, makes sense.
and how can you even trust dramatic events with any kind of accuracy? Your adrenaline's pumping, you're emotional. Excuse
Yeah.
me. It doesn't make much sense to me. It kind of happened to me, like because I've had issues, right? Like my daughter got diabetes. I missed 4 days of work, lost my job. My car is literally broken down 3 times in a month and a half. All this bad shit's happening. And I love my dad, and my dad's been very understanding with me. But, yesterday he made a comment like, maybe if you wasn't such an atheist, all this bad stuff wouldn't be happening to
Oh,
you.
that's yeah. Honestly, that
And I'm like, Dad, like, yeah, shit is bad right now, but how many millions of devout believers have far less than me? Like, there's
exactly.
literally devout Christians
Yeah.
starving to death right now.
Yeah, and exactly the point I was going to bring up. Like that doesn't mean anything. Okay, it's you're right, because there are people who devout believers who are going through figurative hell. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. I'm going through a rough patch because my daughter got sick. It happens to millions of people every year, like,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with it. I start a new job in the 10th. Like, no, I didn't need God to start making it work again, So why is it God? And he has good intentions. And he was really hesitant with even telling me that because he didn't want to piss me off. And I'm like, Dad, you accept me for who I am. And I understand where you're coming from, but you're wrong on this one, dude.
Yeah.
You're just wrong.
Yeah, and also, also go. I don't know. Yeah, it's something else I wanted to mention. Going back to, when people pray, you know what I mean. It's one of the excuses a friend of mine used. uh, to use. Well, they're praying because they mean well. They mean well. What? Okay, sure, they mean well, but that doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything, like mean well and then call your senator and ask for change. That's that's what I want to see because that's the only thing that's going to do anything, and even that's not going to do shit because those senators don't care about you. They care about the NRA that's paying them or whatever your issue is.
Yeah, it's.
It's
I don't know, dude. It's like
it's
it's
the
a.
thoughts and prayers, and that's the funny thing about this all because the whole argument that a lot of the liberals that started attacking me from my family for saying that, you make that argument every time there's a mass shooting. Like, we don't want your thoughts and prayers. It's the same argument. Why is it different? Because it's not a political issue. Now it's the heathen saying it about a different issue. It's the same fucking argument that you use as a liberal when you're having your gun debates. But now you're pissed at me?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. There are times I'm browsing through Facebook and I see something. Oh, this little girl is sick. One like equals what? Like one like equals 10,000 prayers, and then you see at the comment, praying, praying. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
just
and
keep
it
scrolling.
pisses me off. Like, it's just disgusting, but believe what you believe. I'm not going to stop there and say, you guys are fucking
Yeah.
stupid. But I'm going to go to my page and be like, look, I just saw some stupid shit. And then if you get offended by that because you might be one of those people, sorry for your luck. It
I
is
don't know.
stupid. Like, if you're going to put on Facebook, you know, like an amen and you'll get $100,000 tomorrow. You're an idiot. Don't be offended when I call you an idiot.
I mean, yeah, but a lot of people say, well, it's the, it's like, what do they say? It, let's see, I'm trying to think of the word. It's not that they mean well,
And they
they.
do. They feel bad and they do mean well, but fuck your mean well. Let's make some change.
But to me, honestly, here's the thing. Here's the thing. They don't mean well, and I'll tell you why. Because because it's at the end of the day, it's self-serving, and I know someone could say, well, why don't you do something to help or whatever. What the hell do you want me to do? At least at least I'm not online going, oh, sending you prayers and being like, yeah,
Yeah,
I helped out.
yeah, and most people aren't. Like, me personally, I'm politically active. I do political debates, and my way of doing something is to try to just change somebody's mind. And I've done it when it comes to guns. I've done it quite a few times when it comes to guns. I have hit far more brick walls than that, but it's worth it for those
Yeah,
moments
are
when you
you
actually
for
change that mind.
yeah, are you for guns or against?
I am 100% against guns, but I'm a far leftist when it comes to guns, and I have pipe dreams and ideals that I know is never going to exist. I'm a realist. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of guns. So I just really want common sense gun legislation. My daughter's in school. I don't want somebody going up in her school shooting it up. We need to come together and have good ideas from the right and the left to at
Yeah.
least fix the problem.
Honestly, you should be more worried about like knives and forks.
Yeah.
than a gun.
Yeah, and I don't worry about, like, I personally don't need a weapon. I'm a big dude, I
Well,
have every confidence that, say somebody were to come in here with a
yeah.
gun, if I had
Who's that?
awareness of it, if I
Somebody
heard it,
moving?
I'd take care of them.
Yeah, is somebody moving in the background? I
Yeah,
see a
yeah.
shadow.
My daughter is definitely wanting dinner time, and it's not 9 o'clock. It's not time for that shot, but it's time for dinner shot. So yeah, she's wanting me to do dinner.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been we went a little bit over an hour. We got
Yeah, I'm having fun, so I do want to invite you back because I want to continue this conversation because I'm having a good. This is a good conversation. I think I've been smiling the whole conversation. These are the types of conversations that I love.
well, hey, no offense to you standing, but I'm not. I try to be honest. I try to have good discussions, although my stutter prohibits that sometimes.
I think you've done excellent. You know, you've done pretty good.
Well, thanks. Okay, chill, lady. You'll get your dinner.
Yeah,
It's like she's moving back and forth, like
she is
bugging me
saying
out.
she knows that I'm she knows that she's being noticed now. That's what it is. So now she's got to make her mark on YouTube.
Uh, God, I feel like I'm chained to a wall, watching shadows move by in Plato's
Yeah.
cave.
All right, sweetie. 5 more minutes, okay? 5 more minutes. Yeah, the shadows, baby. It is really messing with everybody. It's messing with me too. Yeah. All right. Yeah. She wants to go. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up, but I do want to invite you back because I want to continue this conversation. Yeah. This has been a great conversation, guys. I haven't really paid too much attention to the chat because I've been into this conversation. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. And I want to find your debate with Standing for Truth. I want to.
You want another one?
Yeah, I want to find your debate with him and check that out.
Well, it's not. I talked to him a little bit, but I mostly host a debate between him and a couple other people. But but if you can actually, I was gonna say if you can add my channel to the description because it's on the side.
I am gonna find that channel as soon as I make my daughter's dinner, and yeah, I'm gonna.
No, it's it's on the side. It's like literally here.
Oh, what, on the chat?
Yeah, just if you go up here, click the blue thing. It's right here.
Yeah, I'll find it. So yeah, I will put that in the description, guys. So come back and find sub to his.
Hang on.
Definitely find his channel, sub to his channel. I'm gonna put that link in the description.
Lousy telemarketers.
Yeah.
Sorry about the ring.
Jesus is Lord. SFT destroyed Athena. It wasn't even enjoyable for even myself. Jill, I'll take that as
Jill,
a win.
I don't care what you think. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You destroyed me.
If Jill says that means you destroyed him. That's what that means. Jill, just so you know, if you want me to think that Standing for Truth actually had a chance, then say the opposite.
But he won't. That's the thing.
All right, man. I'm gonna get off here. She is definitely ready.
Yeah.
Let's schedule another one. I'll email you. And I enjoyed this conversation, man. It was really good talking to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
Bye.